Welcome everybody to a new mini-series. This is the trip that I took last summer through Europe with 3 of my friends. Originally it was a longer trip planned, but we squished it into 5 days. So it's 5 days, 5 countries, and a fantastic time. We motocamped the whole way, and my 3 friends were brand new to motocamping, never even really camped before, let alone motorcycle camped. So it was a new experience for those guys. So follow us along on our 5-day epic road trip across to Europe. So first things first, I left my house down in Sherborne at 5 a.m. To meet the guys at the service stations on the M27, where we're meeting up and then heading towards Folkestone to get the Eurotunnel across to France and mainland Europe. We finally arrived at Folkestone to get the Eurotunnel over to France. It was pretty easy, to be honest. We just booked it all online. You turn up at the designated time, passports, and that's about it really. It was easy peasy. Now getting onto the actual train itself was pretty easy as well. So if you have any anxieties about it, don't worry, it's easy peasy. You literally just drive on, just avoid the middle where it's just a big solid metal piece. Just drive along the train until you're told to stop, and then they'll ask you to park at 45 degrees. It's not as scary as it seems.
I don't like that. Is that you, baby? Yeah, I don't like it at all. You can do it. Probably as good as one before. Right, drive on the right, do not forget.
And just like that, we're in France. So now that we'd arrived at Calais, we decided to make a quick pit stop at Dunkirk for a soft drink, and then arrive at our final destination, our campsite just outside of Bruges.
My French is...
One of the things we kept noticing while riding through all the small towns was how beautiful yet modern a lot of the houses were. It was completely different to the sort of houses we get in the UK. Everything was just so clean and nice. Surprisingly, we had no difficulty adjusting to riding on the right hand side of the road as opposed to the left, which I know we were all a little bit worried about when we first left.
I don't understand how you can. The tiny box is very small and confusing. And then you left foot. Very confusing. Oh my god. Hey, it was like a going left and then going right. We'll go too fast. Stop there. Okay.
So once we arrived in Bruges, we got to our campsite, set up our camp, and then we decided to walk into Bruges. We did the touristy stuff, had a look around, bought a few souvenirs. We went to the beer museum, which was fantastic. Got a little bit tipsy, not too bad, before heading back to the campsite for a good night's sleep.
Man, I'm gonna sleep like a Bruges is very pretty, but it's way easier to take over the doors. Dad will have been to Bruges on some messy thing when he was.
Yeah, it's not normally.
After a lovely night spent at this campsite, we were heading on to day 2. So we left the campsite and headed towards Ghent, where we explored the town, had lunch and visited the castle, and then we headed on to our campsite in the Netherlands, just south of Eindhoven. Once we arrived in Ghent, we tried our very best not to get hit by any trams while we tried to find somewhere to park. We decided to visit the castle, which is called the Gravenstein. It dates back to 1180 and was repurposed in 1353 to be a court and then a prison, and it says even a cotton factory.
When you're being charged that is what you aim towards.
Just thinking that.
There's many a church.
As we arrived at the campsite, we had a bit of a hoo-ha as the reception was actually closed and they'd left a number to call if you arrived to check in, but the number didn't work. So we ended up just grabbing food at the on-site restaurant until we could find somebody to let us in, pretty much. But it all worked out in the end and we got settled. Oh, let me get my phone in case we need it, because it's got all the information on it. I do have it in paper version as well, but it's in my bag. Hi, welcome to the Netherlands.